Done fucking with it.
Hello, everyone. Oh no, my arm broke off!
Yes.
Okay.
Because we can't have just one thing go wrong, guys.
Stand by. Technical difficulties. Like, literally, as soon as I hit the record button, it just flies off. That's fantastic. Really cranking on there, you know?
Okay, how's that feel?
It's whatever. Yeah, that's fine. It's just... Okay, for our 3 viewers, update. So, our audio equipment takes these wires, and one of the pets chewed through the wire, and now we can't use both mics, so now we have to fight over this one mic to talk about the thing we're going to talk about.
It'll be a commutative effort, but I think we'll figure it out for this temporary episode.
This is going to be a shit show. This is awful. This is terrible. And our camera's on low battery, so we're just going to... Here we go.
Do you remember last time we recorded and we looked up and it was like, stop recording!
Yeah, it's just like, how long have we been recording? Okay. So, naturally, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Absolutely.
And to celebrate Thanksgiving, we're going to talk about a movie that talks about Halloween and Christmas instead. So, here we go.
So we're going to talk about every holiday except for Thanksgiving, because truly the only good Thanksgiving movie is The Peanuts.
Yes. So today, Lucy, go ahead. You have the mic.
I have the power. Today we are going to talk about the greatest musical ever. It's The Nightmare Before Christmas. And this is one of the best movies that you can play on multiple holidays, which you don't get to say for a lot of movies. But this is a fantastic movie that I'm very passionate about. I think a lot of people are. I'm excited to talk to you about it, Abe.
I am. I'm excited to talk about it as well. I just rewatched it last night.
As did I.
And it's been kind of a minute since I've seen this movie, and it's got a lot of charm to it.
I love it.
It's got a lot of charm to it. I like it.
I watch it literally every year multiple times.
It's fantastic.
It's so good.
Okay, so let's go into the plot. Do you want to start first?
I'm going to talk in my mouth.
Okay, so the plot of this movie is, I guess, there are different, I don't know if you'd call it dimensions, different realms, whatever you want to call it, that all, like, their entire world is consumed by one holiday, and they prep for that holiday all year until that holiday happens. The, not mayor, but the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town, Jack Skellington, he gets tired with doing basically the same old thing over and over and over again for who knows how long he's been doing it. And he kind of wants to look into something new, and he stumbles upon Christmas Town. That's kind of the plot of the movie, and it's just watching these characters kind of fumble into a completely different genre of movie, but remaining the same horrific Halloween Town characters, but in a completely different setting. And it's a fun little time.
Yeah, I would say the only adjustment to that would be the plot is definitely him being lost and feeling like he's been doing the same thing for a long time. So is this who he really wants to be? He's having like an internal crisis. And that's what this movie kind of addresses.
Yeah. So I guess this is almost tradition. Without me looking, without you looking, what do you score this movie out of 10? I mean, I already feel like I already know, but it's okay. It's okay. Okay. On 3, we'll have to show each other. Okay. Gee, I wonder what you wrote. on 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, 11! Wow. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I enjoy this movie. It's not. I don't know if it's my favorite Halloween/Christmas movie.
What other Halloween/Christmas movie do you have?
Well, I mean, there's some horror Halloween or Christmas movies that I would put in that. Well, I guess. Okay, so this is the only one, but I do enjoy it. If you could describe this movie in one word, how would you describe it? Man, where'd my eraser go? I really need it. I'm fucking up over here.
Oh, the eraser's on the top of your cap, bro.
Shut up. Okay.
One word, huh?
One word. You get one word to describe this movie. Makes you think. You can't see, but off screen, my cat is literally right in front of us, staring at us. So maybe she'll come in the frame. Who knows?
She's judgmental.
Anyway, what's your word?
Nostalgic.
Nostalgic. Okay, that's a good word.
I spelled it wrong.
That's fine. The audience can't see. You spelled it right. I put charming.
Oh, charming's a great one.
I think charming really wraps it up.
I was gonna put fun because it is an incredibly fun.
It's a fun movie.
But
okay, so we can kind of there's not too many terrible themes in this movie, so we can just dive in straight into characters, unless you think there's some big themes you want to talk about. Okay, well actually, I do take that back. With some characters, there are some themes of finding yourself and what makes you happy.
I would say there's a couple of themes that are consistent throughout the movie. One of them being specifically being true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Don't try to make yourself be something that you're not for whatever reason. Just be yourself. And then the other theme would be I personally think it's just being accepting of anything, no matter how starkly different it is from what you know as your day-to-day life. And that's something that you see throughout the whole movie. When characters interact, your initial thought is when these characters interact, the horror characters with the Christmas characters, when Santa comes in there, you would think he'd be like, oh my god, this is terrifying. But he doesn't. He just talks to them.
I'm still listening.
No, you're good. Yeah. It's a cat.
Look at this guy.
Bitch. And then that's the same with Jack. He goes in and he's not like, oh, look at all these cutesy little things, and goes to make fun of them, which would be your initial thought. Uh-huh. He's just entranced with them. He's like, what is all this new? Just being open to a new experience.
Well, I think one of the main messages of the movie, and it's really the only character arc I can see with Jack, is even if you're not going to be good at something, you should try it nonetheless if you're passionate about it. So whether you succeed or fail at it, it's kind of a moot point. As long as you are passionate about it and you want to reinvigorate yourself with being passionate about something, like one of his songs, he says but by God, I tried.
No.
And that's the whole point. Just at least attempt the thing. And it turns out by attempting a new thing, even though he wasn't great at it, it reinvigorated his love for the thing that he's already good at, which is his problem in the beginning of the movie. Is he's just so disenfranchised with scaring people. But this whole new experience has put this new twist. He's got all these new ideas that he can try for next Halloween. So just trying to put your best foot forward on any type of endeavor, I think, is a big kind of theme of the movie.
No, I'd agree. I mean, it gives you you're tired of doing what you've been doing for a long time, so now you want to try something else. And in doing that, if you give it your all, then at least you gave it your shot. Wow, he's disgusting. Literally disgusting. I wish you guys could see this stupid cat.
She's a fucking goopy dude. She's the opposite of Louie. Louie would be freaking out right now, but She's like, that's the stuff. Yeah. Anyway, back to the. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh no, you're good. I was just gonna move on to characters.
So yeah, moving on to characters. I don't know, who's your favorite character out of all of this? There are some. All of them are colorful characters. Even the side characters.
Oh, every character.
Even the side characters, they give like just. I mean, because of the claymation style and everything, all of them have such characteristics. Like the Wolfman, that's like popping out of his shirt constantly. Yeah. I can always picture him. The clown with the tearaway face. Yep. And he's always riding a little unicycle. Yeah, the witches, the vampires that are always having their umbrellas out. So like even the side characters, like it's just such a well realized world because you can picture it. Whenever you hear this movie, you can picture at least some frame of it or how it looks or some character, which I'm a big old fan of. That's this is when Tim Burton and Danny Elfman were doing some good stuff, which. At the end of it, we can tell. I know there's a whole thing. That's my fifth category. Is the backstory to this movie.
We will talk about that because that is definitely, I think, the most interesting fun fact.
It is a lot of fun facts in this movie. Well, and we'll get into it later. But that being said, Tim Burton did have some notes. Whenever they were in Halloween Town, the only colors that were able to be shown were like black, gray, and orange for pumpkins. Yeah. That's about it.
And then you could do variations of those colors, but that was it.
Yep. Like, and then he also put in a not request, but he told his art director no right angles. And there's a right angle. If it looks like a box, give it a different angle.
Adjust it. Yeah. Well, they do.
That's why you get all those canted, just jagged angles. All the buildings are like that. All the characters. I mean, Jack's elbows are just always.
Well, and then it mixes well too with like the thought of a Gothic architecture style because that's kind of how they draw all of Halloween Town. So when you have those really sharp edges that are all over the place, combined with the fact there's not going to be any right angles, it gives a very kooky feel.
Yeah, it's very Gothic.
Very Gothic. Very Gothic. And it just continues to feed into the fact like this is Halloween Town. Like,
yes.
This is very much what we're all about.
Yeah.
And surrounded with.
So big old fan of that. Big old fan of the set design.
I know.
Jack, I don't know what happened in the pop culture zeitgeist, but Jack Skellington got really big.
Oh, he's huge.
Yeah, he got really big, and it's not. The interesting thing is once this movie came out, it was like it broke even. It wasn't like a huge box office like smash, but years later, after the fact, he's like become like this, like. I don't know if icon's right the word. Yeah, because
every time
it's Halloween.
It's freaking Halloween.
I mean, he's
a personification of a skeleton.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of those.
Yeah, and I mean, all of his suit, his attire.
Yeah.
And he's the Pumpkin King.
Yeah,
like,
it's great. Like he is the personification of a skeleton, which is the symbol of Halloween, essentially.
Yeah.
Even if you think Dia de los Muertos, it's all about the skeleton and paying respects to the dead and who we used to be, because all we really are is a pile of bones.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's like the whole thought process. And you have all your monster classics like your vampires, you have Dracula, and then you have all the hundreds of vampire movies and shows that are under it. You've got your werewolves, you've got your mummy, you've got all these big characters that are all like your original Universal monsters.
Yep.
But they already have their own character to them. A skeleton doesn't, and that's what Jack brings.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Also, all of his songs are really good. I don't know. I feel like it resonated a lot with the Misfits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when it first came out.
Toys.
Yeah, the Misfit characters, because it's like a fairy tale. Like this movie's kind of like a fairy tale. It's a musical through and through.
It is a musical for sure.
And it's got like these fantastical characters, and they're going on like this. They're like going down the rabbit hole, kind of.
Kinda. I mean, Yeah, you're jumping from because you do have the mystic magic of the land. Like Santa's magic is real.
Mm-hmm.
The vampires are real. So you do have this sense of we're in a fantasy realm for sure. Like that's definitely the sense that you get. I don't know if I call it a fairy tale, but I would definitely say fantasy.
There are like I guess fairy tale tropes I guess I see throughout the movie. But either way, it's a fun movie that I mean anyone of any age can enjoy.
I agree with that completely. I mean, you could watch this 8 or 80 and enjoy this.
And you'll find something you'll like about it.
Yep. So who's your favorite character then? Because I don't know.
I can guess yours. You want to guess mine?
I want to say that yours is. I want to say it's the Wolfman because he's a fun character that pops in and he says little things throughout the He's almost like close to breaking the fourth wall, but he doesn't because he'll come and say something.
Mine's Jack. I mean,
Jack?
it's I gotta go with Jack. I mean, he's definitely the biggest character in the movie, or one of, and he's just I don't know. He's likable, charming is one.
Well, he's your protagonist.
Yeah, he's your protagonist, and you can tell like there's. I mean, just like we were talking about before, when he finds Christmas Town, he's very childlike and he's very like happy about it. Yeah. And also, what he's trying to do is also very childlike. Like when a kid tries to make a gift for you, and they put their everything into it, but it's like, but they're just like they don't know what they're doing. So it's just like it's great, but also like. Sometimes it, tries to eat you.
Sometimes it tries to eat you. It happens.
But yours is, what's her name, Sally?
I love Sally, but she's not my favorite.
Really? No way. I thought Sally would be top of your list.
Sally is by far second. Like, I love Sally for sure.
She's my second.
And there's a lot of reasons to love Sally. Like, I like when she gets the premonition when she's holding the nightshade.
Yeah.
And it
turns into a tree.
The leaves break off, turns into the tree, and it shows how pretty it is, but then it's destroyed. So she's not afraid to go against the grain. She's not afraid to ignore her. I'm going to call her the dad figure in this and not so much the master figure because he is more of a dad figure.
He's her creator.
He's her creator, but I don't see it as I'm keeping you locked away because you're a monster and I need to keep you away. I'm keeping you away because you're
you're mine.
You're mine and you're a girl and you're younger. It's very much a father-daughter dynamic in my opinion. So she,
It keeps her around to make her food, make food and stuff. He wants a servant, kind of,
sort of. So it's I like the fact that she, is smart enough to get away with going around this dude. He's the mad professor. He's the smartest dude in town. But she outwits him. Literally, every single time she's like, I want to do this, she does.
I thought you liked frog's breath.
And then she has the spoon in her sock with the holes. Yeah. She's very well thought out.
She's prepping it up.
So my favorite character is Oogie Boogie.
Oh, okay, no, that's fair. No, Oogie Boogie's good. No, Oogie Boogie is
I love Oogie Boogie.
He is a classic.
I love him, and the reason I know that he's my favorite character because every time he's on screen, I am the happiest.
You are just this guy's pretty good.
The best. I mean, his song, his persona, the whole thing. I think is
his
just
lair.
Great. It's so great. It's so great. And he's just he's a bad guy. There's no rhyme
there's
or
There's no two ways about it. He just likes being evil.
Being bad.
I do miss those types of characters where it's just they're just evil for the sake of being evil.
Because I'm evil, baby.
And they find such joy in it. It's just that. Exactly. I do enjoy those characters, and I am glad this movie has Oogie Boogie in it because it's the boogeyman.
This movie would not be what it is without the boogeyman.
That's true.
Everything else is great and has awesome layers to it and everything like that, but the thing that really makes it stick home is Oogie Boogie.
Well, he's the one. He's the one who really creates most of the stakes because, like, okay, yeah, Santa gets captured, which is originally Jack's idea, but he's only really put in danger, and Christmas is really put in jeopardy because Oogie Boogie is hanging on to Kris Kringle.
Oh yeah, baby.
And he's the one who's like setting all the stakes. It's kind of cool to see their like tidbits of relationship, Jack and Oogie Boogie.
Yeah.
Because like
totally.
Oogie Boogie hears that like Jack's dead and whatever, and he's just like, I can do whatever I want. And then Jack shows up and he's like, wait, hold up.
So big.
So that's a great pick for characters.
Well, and it's too, and I like Oogie Boogie too because it shows the side of Jack that everybody talks about the whole movie, but you don't.
He's a scary guy.
Yeah, the whole movie. Like, so let's jump to the beginning. Fury opening scene, which is one of the best opening scenes of all time.
We're gonna have to talk about the music.
Like, one of the best opening scenes ever. But so the opening scene is them talking about Halloween Town and how Jack is the Pumpkin King. He sends people to their graves early. He's super scary. He should be feared. I mean, he is the king
guy
of kings here in this town for this holiday. But when we see him after that, we don't see this scary, vicious dude.
He's more sympathetic.
He's sad. He doesn't have sharp edges. Like, he's very
Well, they give him a huge introduction, and almost directly after that, he goes into a song about how he feels and how he's so like he's very sensitive, and he's very like, oh, like this is just, there's something more that I want to discover about myself, which is not what you would expect from a terrifying character.
Exactly, like that sense of vulnerability that he has is something that you don't see a lot in, well, you see it in your main characters, but you don't see it in a character that's characterized as being vicious or super, in that realm of thinking. So you take that thought, and the whole movie, he's excited. We see him go into Christmas Town, and then he has that childlike joy, and then he's making all this Christmas stuff, and you see you just see all these emotions.
A wide range.
But you don't see this vicious Pumpkin King until Oogie Boogie shows up, and he has to come save Santa.
Yeah,
like
you kind of see little glimpses of it, like when what are the three characters' names? The best trick-or-treaters.
Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
Yeah, Lock, Shock, and Barrel, when they accidentally capture the Easter Bunny. You see a little bit of a, like, oh, okay, no, he's able to lay down the law when he needs to. Did you know that, to piggyback off your point of, you see so many emotions from Jack? Now, obviously, this is all claymation, and they had, like, almost like 400 separate heads to show his emotions throughout this movie. And that's all for one dude. 400 separate heads.
Yep, and if you think about it, you're showing such complex emotions through such a simplistic design.
Yeah.
It's a white head with
black eyes.
Black circles for eyes, a nose, and a smile.
Yeah.
Like, or whatever expression he happens to have. Like,
yeah.
So
the animators did a phenomenal job in this movie.
This movie was amazing. This movie also, fun fact, was only produced because of, I guess we could say that for the open choice stuff, but there's so many fun facts about this movie.
You might as well throw one in there.
Like, this movie was actually put up to be produced, and Disney didn't like it, so it got thrown up. It wasn't
kid-friendly
enough, so it got thrown on the back burner. But then after they had such success as a team doing the Batman movies, they actually got the green light to go ahead and do this movie, and that was specific. And so it was considered a passion project for Tim Burton because he was like, "This is the one that I want to produce." So
I might as well jump in on that. We can go a little bit into open choice. I guess we don't have to do exactly, in order.
We'll go back to
but two, I have notes on this.
Yeah.
So, the Tim Burton, to go back in time to go from each project to each project. Tim Burton and Danny Elfman only met because of one guy. Do you know who this guy is?
Is it Michael Keaton?
No. It would be cool.
No. Who?
Paul Rubin. Do you know who Paul Rubin is?
Paul Rubin.
Pee Wee Herman.
Shut up.
So,
Pee Wee.
Pee Wee Herman, when the Pee Wee Herman show was a thing, he had a lot of pull in Hollywood.
Big.
It was big. And so when they made the Pee Wee Herman movie, Paul Rubin, who plays Pee Wee, got to pick the director. And he chose Tim Burton. And at the time, he was a huge fan of Oogie Boogie. No, Oingo Boingo, not Oogie Boogie. Oingo Boingo, which was the band that Danny Elfman was in at the time. And he wanted Danny Elfman to score his Pee Wee movie. And so Pee Wee Herman brought both Tim Burton and Danny Elfman in. The Pee Wee Herman movie did really well financially, and then the studio was like, "Oh, okay, well they did good. Let them make another movie." And then they made Beetlejuice, another great movie, which is another. There's going to be another episode about it.
Oh my god, that movie's so good.
And they were like, "Wow, this team's really good. They keep making this movie. What should they make next?" Boom, Batman. Wow, this guy just keeps making money. And so at that point, Tim Burton had enough clout to be like, hey, this passion project that I thought years ago, I want to make it a thing. So the only reason we got Nightmare on Elm or Nightmare Before Christmas was because Pee Wee Herman was like, Oingo Boingo's kind of cool.
Thank you, Pee Wee. I did not know that I needed to thank you so much for your contribution to literally
He's
my
like the
entire life.
great grandfather of this movie.
Like you have, like all those movies you just mentioned too had such an effect.
They were a power team for a while.
So good.
They were a power team for a while.
Movies too.
Yep,
like,
Batman Returns.
Oh man, that was so good.
So it's kind of funny. Danny Elfman, when he was first offered because he'd never scored a movie before, he was just like, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if I want to do it. And hold up, I got a freaking frackin' patty whack and hold up.
Fix this camera.
Okay, hold up. Kitty. Wait, thank you.
You know what'd be funny?
Does it look like it's back on?
No. What?
The battery might be too low.
Oh no.
Do it. Hold up. I'm gonna try this. Shut up. Yeah, I think the battery's too low. Fuck me. Well, we can still keep talking about it. I can try and edit different footage in it. Yeah, no, this thing's about to die. Oh, but we can keep talking about it. You get the hell out of my face. But when Danny Elfman was originally given the opportunity to do this, he was like, I don't want to score a film. That sounds dumb and boring, and I don't want to do it. And so, what is it? His manager was like, dude, you should take this opportunity. Paul Rubin's a big deal. Like, take this opportunity. And he's like, no. And so his manager was like, okay, you call Pee Wee Herman and tell him you don't want to do it. And so he gets on a call with him, and Pee Wee Herman's all like, come on, you should really, I really want you to do this. I'm a big fan of your band. I think you're going to do a great job. And apparently, Danny Elfman just was like, okay, fuck it. And because of those two words, his entire career completely changed. That's the only reason he met Tim Burton, the only reason he helped produce and create all of the movies that we just talked about.
So fuck it, I'll do it, fine.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, as long as you're going for it,
I was gonna say, that's a lesson in life. There,
yeah,
guys.
literally. So
just say fuck it.
Exactly. So there's some backstory for you. When it comes to music, what is your favorite song in this one?
That is so fucking hard.
It is actually very difficult to do.
You
keep talking. I'm gonna see if I can do anything.
Oh, man. I mean, the intro, like I said before, This Is Halloween, I think is just an amazing song. But I really like Sally's song, too. And I like What's This.
This possibly, maybe, might work.
Maybe, sorta. Sorta, kinda.
Really crap shooting everything, Lucy. That's what we're doing. What the fuck? Just go in. Thank you. Okay, cat. Can you push the laptop a little closer to me? It sure isn't. Oh my god.
Lame.
Yeah, sorry. It's okay. Rest of this, I'm gonna see if I can take the audio and just make it into a podcast episode.
Oh,
Since this one's just been like,
yep.
Problems upon problems, if you will. But next time I'll make sure it's fully charged or whatever. But anyway, I can't. I think my favorite song out of all of it is the opening song.
I mean, This Is Halloween.
It's really hard to top that one.
The remix too.
The remix by Marilyn Manson is it's top tier. It's top tier stuff.
So good.
I kind of wish he did all of the ones.
Exactly, just gonna say that.
Korn did a cover of Santa Claus or Capture the Santa Claus or.
Yeah.
It's not as good. I got nothing against Korn. They've made some bangers, but it just, I don't know, that one didn't hit for me.
Yeah, I don't know. That whole remix CD, there's a couple of them, like Amy Lee redoing Sally's song was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But then they had somebody else do Jack's song, and I don't think it was very good. I can't even remember who did it.
I disagree. Yeah.
So, there's another fun fact about this one, too, though, that this was not actually the brainchild of Tim Burton.
Well, there's definitely backstory to it, so go ahead, start shooting it. What's going on with this goddamn Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, so it's not actually his like idea originally. It was something that he and somebody else had talked about and said, oh, this would be cool, and they kind of drew up a sketchboard of it, and they kind of had an outline, but it wasn't something that was actually, obviously, because they hadn't produced it or anything, but it wasn't just his idea. And then they brought that to Disney, and then that's what got poo-pooed away. Mm-hmm. But because they brought it to Disney, Disney had the rights on it. So Disney owns it. So he wanted, and then there was something else. So there's the Disney thing, but then there's another thing with the guy that helped produce it, or helped write it, because it's produced by him, it's not written by him.
So when Tim Burton first came up with this idea, he was a young animator at the time, and so this weird outsider person, and he sketchboarded it with I don't know if it was Henry Selick.
I think.
I don't know if he was the one, but he did sketch with somebody, and it was his original brainchild kind of idea. I think it was based off of a poem he wrote after reading a bunch of Christmas stories. But he made a small poem. He thought of this character. He sketched it with some other people. And then, you're right, he brought it to Disney. Disney was like, who are you? Nobody cares about this.
Right.
We're going to buy your idea, though, and, maybe use it. And never use it. Ha, 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 look at us, we're Disney. Anyway, and then once he became a big thing, he, I think, was working on Batman Returns mostly for Warner Brothers. And so the only time that they could get this made was on Disney's schedule. And so he basically gave it to a bunch of people that he could trust
to do
And one of those people was a fellow young animator. Henry Selick is the actual director of this movie.
Yeah, he is. So
Tim Burton did not direct this movie.
He produced it. It was his plot, but
he definitely contributed in some ways.
Well, his creative control or his creative thoughts are definitely in there. But it was Henry Selick who created.
Henry Selick put form to the Tim Burton thoughts
idea, for sure.
because he's the one who had to help animate a lot of stuff. He had to hire certain people. He had to work with Danny Elfman in the store because they actually wrote the songs first.
And then
that's where they started, and they built it around. So he had to work a lot with Danny Elfman. He had to work with a lot of stuff, and unfortunately, I don't think he has ever been given the credit that he is due.
Oh, he hasn't, because Tim Burton's name is on it.
Well, exactly, and why they did that is because they released this to a focus group of children, because they were like, oh, is this going to be, our kids going to like this? And according to Danny Elfman, it did not go well with the kids. And so Disney saw it as a failure because it was originally rated G. And they're like, well, kids apparently don't like this. Right. So we're going to have to widen the age group. So they made it PG. And instead of making it a Disney movie, they made it a Touchstone movie. Do you know anything about Touchstone?
I mean, I know them as a company.
They're Disney.
Oh, they are Disney.
But they're under the name Touchstone, so if they release something a little less kid-friendly, they can still keep the clean Disney brand.
Oh, so all the G stuff is Disney, PG, and other stuff.
PG, Touchstone. Something that kids might not like, or something more towards teenagers, that Disney will still produce and make money off of, is released under the name of Touchstone.
Gotcha.
So it was released under Touchstone. And to sell it more, Tim Burton had gotten pretty big, so they were like, okay, how are we going to sell this thing? Kids don't really seem to like it. Yep, put his name on it. Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, and that is why it has that title.
Yeah. See, that's
not until later, 20, 30 years later, when it got really big, did they take it back to Walt Disney. Once everybody started loving it, it's now considered a Walt Disney production now instead of Touchstone. Isn't it fun? Aren't movies magical?
That's ridiculous. I mean, I believe that it was originally released on Touchstone, but yeah, you look at it now, I mean, the rights to that movie, streaming-wise, is on Disney.
Yeah, well, everything old Touchstone, because Touchstone doesn't really exist anymore.
No, it doesn't.
Everything that was Touchstone was all on Disney.
Well, it was the parent company.
Yeah,
so.
Well, it was basically Disney 2.0, but to keep their brand image,
right? Yeah,
it
was just a smart marketing move.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to produce the movies we're going to produce, but we're going to split them so that one is gauged towards a specific set and another is for, if this fails, it doesn't affect us.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that makes me think of DreamWorks.
Oh, DreamWorks.
DreamWorks is so amazing, though.
But either way, I'm glad that this thing got made through all the hoops and everything it had to jump through. It's got its own style. It's got its own charm. It's got great characters, and they really have become endearing. This movie was made 30 years ago.
That was made
in the 90s. So yeah, just about, is that 40 years ago? No, that's 30. That's 30. Is that 50 years ago?
Yeah,
is that perhaps 60 years ago?
All right.
But no, for being a 30-year-old movie, I mean, I know, I don't really play Fortnite, but I know that they released a Jack Skellington Fortnite skin.
Still relevant.
So it's still relevant. This character is still kicking around, and people are still enjoying the movie.
What's so great about it, too, is that they didn't use any CGI or anything in this movie. It's all claymation. So it's going to last the test of time. When you look at movies like The Polar Express, when they're just really trying out animation and CGI and everything like that, when it first came out, it was amazing, but you watch Polar Express now and it's like, this is terrible. I mean, they would have to re-release it and go through and clean up the entire movie because the whole movie is based around CGI.
You want to know a fun fact about Polar Express?
Oh God, what?
I think this will actually genuinely shock you. The director, he's a good director, but he's the one who pushed for the CGI because he was trying to push technology.
Right, and it was a big deal. Like,
do you know what other movies he directed?
Oh no. Which ones? I bet they're all terrible.
Actually, completely the opposite.
Really? What are they?
Back to the Future.
Oh, I love that movie. Okay.
What is it? I'm trying to remember the name. Well, I think he did all of the Back to the Futures.
I think.
And then what is that name? It's that fun animated movie.
My Little Toaster?
No, it has live action. It was the original live action mixed with cartoons.
Oh, Space Jam?
No.
What?
Older before that.
What?
Yeah. It's God, what is it? What is that name?
Oh.
Tell me.
Who killed Roger Rabbit?
Yes. Roger Rabbit.
Yes.
That's the director.
Oh my God.
Who framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
Yes.
Roger Rabbit. That's it.
Wonderful movie.
Yeah.
Wonderful movie.
That movie's a classic.
Yeah, that's another one I want to talk about on this.
Classic, man.
But yeah, he
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because Polar Express, objectively, is not a bad movie.
Yeah.
I like the theme. I like the thought process. I like what happens at the end. Like, all in all, it's a Christmas magic movie.
It just looks soulless.
It looks terrible. They really got to redo that. And that's what sucks. They're redoing all these stupid Disney movies again and live action. Stop it! Just go back through and do some nice editing on some of the animations that you guys have. Like, you don't need to do that. I hate it.
Anyway, that's all the time we have for Nightmare Before Christmas. Sorry for all the technical difficulties. I'm going to try and edit the shit out of this. I really don't know what I'm going to do with this thing. We're going to try maybe a podcast episode. I don't know. We're going to try. But anyway, thank you for tuning in to this one mic, two stand people.
Appreciate you, and have a good happy holidays.